Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is an exciting one because it is actually in fact a collaboration. Now this is not just anybody, this is actually my cousin called Antonia. She started up a family channel who has very similar content to mine. She uploads shopping hauls, she does vlogs, she has cleaning videos. She's got very similar content to mine, so I thought, oh my goodness, it would be absolutely amazing to do a collab. And today we thought we'd do something different, and we wanted to do like a bake with us type of cake. I will leave her channel down below in the description bar, so please make sure to go over to her, hit that subscribe button, tell her that you came from my channel and give her a big hello. So today we're actually going to be making a cake. Now that's just my oven that's just gone on, so hopefully that's not too distracting. Now she's going to be baking with her gorgeous little son, and I'm supposed to be baking with Gabriella. However, Gabriella does not want to be here right now, and I need to get this cake basically baked. So what I'm going to be making today is a vanilla sponge cake. Now it sounds quite boring, but Gabriella's birthday is fast approaching in about 7 to 8 weeks, I think, and I'm going to attempt making a frozen cake. Now I will not be making a frozen cake today, but I want to practice stacking the levels of the cakes together, making the buttercream and trying to sort of get it somewhat neat. I attempted this 2 years ago for her first birthday and it was pretty impossible. I don't know how you bakers do it. I just don't get it. It's so hard having to make everything so neat and just look really professional. So we're going to see how we get on today. Now Gabriella will be here later on. I think I'm going to ask her to come over and we're going to like decorate it together, but for the sponge part I'm just going to get on with that anyway. And there will be some parts where I'll put you on a fast time lapse. Also, don't forget guys to hit the red subscribe button as well if you enjoy our channel. We upload 2 videos every single week and they completely vary, from cleaning videos, vlogs, hauls, and you name it. Yeah, so let's get into baking. Oh, and before I get to baking, I want to show you what we made on the weekend. 1 minute. Now a lot of you guys have actually said you do want to see a lot more baking on our channel, and I've been making these and practicing for her birthday. But I made these cakesicles and honestly they're absolutely delicious. So I did like that design, and again I'm keeping within like the whole frozen thing, so I've made them blue. But guys, I'm really getting out of hand with this whole party. But yeah, these are absolutely delicious. So if you want to see a video on those, give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. First thing I've done is you need 1 whole egg, so I've just cracked that inside, but then you do also need 5 large egg whites. So I just begin by splitting the egg whites in, and then I'm just flipping from side to side, as you can see, from one half of the eggshell to the other, and then I just get rid of the rest of the egg. 1 full cup of milk, pour that in. By the way, I have made this vanilla sponge cake recipe 3 times and each time it comes out absolutely delicious, so I can vouch that this is a good vanilla sponge recipe. Just to show you the difference, not that I'm a baker, obviously I've just really got into it recently, but nobody wants to see the bin open. I was actually using cups like this. Now, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I do think it is actually it is quite off compared to the actual specific measurements of the actual baking amounts. So I would advise just get like a little cheap version from Amazon, but it does make a difference. But I unfortunately have no vanilla extract left, which is ridiculous, but just goes to show how much baking I've been doing lately. But I actually looked up, so if you don't have vanilla extract, you can actually use maple syrup as a replacement. So we're going to see how this goes. I will leave an update either in the description or in the comments where I pin it, and I'll let you know if I even tasted a difference. Also, I recommend buying these for the spoon versions as well, because I actually noticed it was quite off compared to a normal spoon. So I'm going to put 2 teaspoons, and I threw in a little extra because it Doesn't do any harm, does it? Now done the wet ingredients and they're in the bowl to the side. I'm now working on my dry ingredients. So for this you need 3 cups of plain flour. So this is my 3rd cup already. 2 cups of sugar, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, so 1 bit of salt. I literally just go like that, I don't really measure the salt. And then I've just got 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter. These cups are brilliant because you don't have to guess and try and estimate. I mean, it literally says 3/4 of a cup, so it does all the measuring for you. So I've just filled that up and then I throw that as well. Doesn't want to come out. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You just bung everything in. Okay, this is the type of consistency that you want. Just small little pieces of the butter blended in with the flour. And to be honest, I used the hand whisker. And I remember the first time I made this, I actually just basically used my fingers like this. And you just crumble it in the mixture yourself. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to mix my wet ingredients with my dry ingredients and basically just mix it all together until you can see that everything's really mixed well. So I'm just going to slowly start mixing that in. I'm going to practice filling in 2 7-inch tins. Now we're going to do this together, guys, because I'm not a professional baker. I found this recipe online. I've tried it a few times. It's brilliant. Nothing wrong with it. It's really delicious. And obviously we need to practice this together. Practice stacking cakes. And obviously I'm going for quite a high. Now obviously I'm going to want it higher on the actual day of the thing, and I'm going to practice this again. This won't be my final practice, but we're just making a slightly smaller version of it today. It's really just to practice basic stacking, getting the cakes level, and then covering it with buttercream and getting some sort of half presentable cake. So that's what we're going for. By the way, guys, I mean, this is not a professional baking video, but this is the reality when you're baking a cake. There we go. So I think these look pretty even enough. I'm just going to pop these in the oven. I'm going to pop these in for about 15 minutes first because my oven is quite strong. And then I'm going to see it, pop a knife in, see if any batter comes out, and then we're going to carry on with the process and see if it needs a bit more baking. Now, the only reason I don't know about how long to put these cakes in is because all the previous times that I've made this cake recipe, I've made it in my really big cake tin, and to be honest, that's needed about 25 to 30 minutes. But these two are obviously much smaller, so they'll cook faster. So we're giving it 15 minutes. I'm gonna check it out, and then we're gonna carry on cooking if it needs a little bit longer. Another tip that I've learned is also don't overbake, because if you overbake and you think, oh no, you know, it needs to be really cooked well, and of course it does, but if you have it in the oven for too long when it doesn't need to be, the sponge really dries out. So be careful you don't overbake. And now that my cakes are in the oven, I need to now clean this mess. And we are back to having a clean kitchen. That needs to stay out because, shamefully I'm going to admit this, that is actually my little stand for my camera when I'm baking. I obviously don't have a lovely big island in my kitchen. So the angles of when I'm filming are very difficult, so I have to have you plonked on that little pot, which I don't use that every time, but I have you standing on something, and then I'm trying very hard to get my angles right so that you can see me, you can then see what I'm doing. But hey, this is like a baking stroke vlog type video, so we're just going with it. Okay guys, these are my cakes. I've just taken them out the oven. They actually needed 25 minutes still. This one's browned a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be shaving the whole top layer to try and get that, you know, that flat finish. Anyway, I'm going to put it on my cooling rack just so they can completely cool, and then we're going to start with the buttercream. Right, the next step, I have literally cut off all the edges, like all the harder bits of the cake. I'll be honest, you do seem to waste a lot of cake. If I was to do this on the day, obviously I would double the mixture, so I'd get another 2, so it would obviously be a lot higher. But actually, this is an improvement from the last cake I tried to make 2 years ago, so we are getting there. Okay guys, these have completely cooled. I have now filled up 1 cup, so you need 1 cup of unsalted butter, and I'm going to throw that in. Okay, we're doing this together, so I'm going to be completely honest with you. The recipe that I found online to make buttercream, this is all it made, and I'm supposed to fill that and cover it all around, so it's clearly not enough. So I'm literally going to have to put this in as my filling, which is perfectly okay, but it's just not enough to cover the whole cake. So I'm literally going to have to double up that mixture now. Look who's come to join us. Look at it, this is his sleepy face. He's just woken up, guys, from a 3-hour nap. Oh my goodness, 3.5-hour nap. Oh my god, my baby. So basically, I was literally, got to that point, took my cake stand out, went to start applying my buttercream, and then you woke up. Mwah. So can you just sit in the little chair for me, in your baby chair, while mommy quickly finishes it? Yeah? Does that sound good? His eyes always go so puffy when he's woken up from a nap. Right, actually, I wanted to show you this before I actually started finishing off the cake, but I bought this 39-piece cake turntable, and it's absolutely brilliant so far. I used it the other day for my cakesicles, and you even get these, what are these, like the piping bags, that's it. And I used some of the tips. I mean, you get so many, can you see? And it's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to leave it linked in the description down below, but you get all of this for like £11 or something, just over £11, which is absolutely amazing. Like, you get everything to bake your cake. Like, you get the scrapers to get hopefully your clean edge. It's brilliant. And this is something else. There we go. This is something else that I got as well as part of the box. So, I mean, I'm a bit nervous at this point. I mean, making the sponge cakes was the easy part for me. Oh, and by the way, I have actually changed because I decided while my cakes were cooling to do a workout. So I actually had a workout and had a shower in. I'm gonna plonk this on top. I mean, we want a good filling. I mean, we want a generous filling, don't we? Now, what I know 100% is that it's not gonna be this low. So I obviously need to double or maybe even triple the mixture, because what you will find is you waste a lot of the cake as you're trimming basically the top part of the cake, and yeah, so you basically want to, I'm gonna have to basically just double everything up. And also, I've never ever tried a cake table, a turntable I should say, and you can definitely see the difference. It definitely does help, because as I'm turning it, I'm just applying a bit of pressure. And I hope this is inspiring you. It's to show everyone, even me, I mean, I'm trying, that even as beginners, we can give it a go and we can at least try to attempt making our own cake. I mean, you know, it's not easy. I think I'm going to find that when I'm dressing it. Yeah, it's not easy, Aretino, is it? But we can at least try. And if it's a complete disaster, I can at least say I tried, right? Really got into baking lately. I can easily buy one. I mean, that's not the problem. It's just, I want to give it a go. Let's try. The buttercream at least tastes nice. Put that on top. Oh yes, can you see? It just looks so much fuller and just adds height. But we can see there, it's obviously not level, but this is where I'm going to make more buttercream and I'm going to cover the entire cake. What is it, Gabriella? Gabriella, what is it? Is it yummy, you said?
Yeah.
Well, good. Thank God for that. No, okay, right. She is picking the cake a little bit, but it is just for us. We're not serving this one out, so. Okay, Gabriella, we do want it to look half presentable, okay? Right. So. Oh my goodness. You've been cheeky. She literally just asked me to lick the spoon. Yeah, might as well. Go ahead, enjoy. So what I've done is, I obviously want to practice as much as I can. I've got blue gel colouring. Now, do I think the gel one is the best? Probably not, but that's all I've got. We're going to go with it. I've separated them in two kind of equal batches of buttercream, and I'm going to make one lighter and one darker, hopefully. No. Okay, I've made a slightly lighter blue and then this type of blue. We're just going to go with it. This is my first attempt. We're going to see how we get on. Now, if you see what I'm talking about the gel, I just don't think it mixes well into the colour, into the buttercream. Okay, I just covered it in the first layer of buttercream. This process, this part doesn't matter if it's messy, because now what you're supposed to do is use this scraper and just scrape off the excess, and then I then place it in the fridge for 20 minutes.
Wow, nice cake.
Do you like it, baby?
Yes.
And then you just take off the excess like this. And I think you're supposed to just keep going. I got slightly carried away. Basically what I did was I took it out the fridge and I covered it another proper layer with the buttercream. And now what I'm doing is I'm just using this piping bag with one of the ends, and I'm trying to decorate it just to see. I mean, this was my first attempt and this is how smooth I got it. It's not great, obviously, but I'm just thinking if I can add some sort of effect, it might cover it and then it doesn't have to be completely perfect. Okay, guys. What a process. Oh my goodness. Right, I have finished it and I'm going to show you what it looks like now. I've learned some things along the way. One, I think my buttercream is too runny, so I think I need to make it much thicker next time. Secondly, you definitely have to sift the icing sugar because I didn't, and you do get thicker lumps. Thirdly, I still stand that I don't think you should use gel. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's some gel colorings out there that are great, but I've personally used this one and I just don't think it mixes the colouring well. It's just very patchy and it's not a solid blue colour, so I don't like that. And I then had to go at a little bit of piping, but then I started running out of buttercream, and then I also thought, oh, what's the point of me carrying on and filling in the gaps, because I just knew it was a bit runny. Ta-da! I mean, obviously it's by far not amazing, but you know, I mean, as you can see, it's just too runny. I couldn't quite get the effect, but you know what? This is genius to do piping if you know you can't get that smooth effect, and I think this is what I'm going to have to end up doing. Now, I watched a YouTube video, and I'm going to give you this tip too, because I also think that's like genius, is she actually poured sprinkles or hundreds of thousands, whichever, all over the cake. So say for example, even this, I mean, it obviously looks a bit messy. Say for example, I do it again and I just cannot get it right, then I could literally just drench the whole cake in sprinkles. And then what I'm planning to do is just put some frozen cake toppers. Now I'm not going to use those because, I mean, they obviously cost money. I don't want to get them dirty just because I'm practicing. So once I've, you know, finalized the sponge, hopefully the flavor tastes good, the design looks good, then obviously I'll put the cake toppers on the day. So my final verdict is I think it's definitely doable with practice. I think if you're willing to spend some time, and trust me, you do need time for this. That's Aretino's starting to cry now, or whinge. I think I need to go and pick him up. So if you're willing to spend time practicing, you can definitely get it. This was my first attempt. I mean, excuse the mess, I'm in the process of cleaning. I think for my first attempt that's great, and I think imagine it higher, so another 2 cake sponges higher. I think the height automatically makes it look better. But yeah, I'm actually quite chuffed for my first attempt. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some inspiration, some motivation, and some confidence that you can also bake a birthday cake too from home. It's definitely doable, guys. It just takes practice, and we are going to get there. I'm going to do this again, and hopefully maybe 3 times in total for a good practice. But I'm hoping that each time I do it, I'll get better and better. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up for all my hard work today. I've literally been cooking and cleaning and baking, I should say, all day long. So I hope this gave you the inspiration to make your own birthday cake at home. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.